Hey everyone, welcome back to Orchestra Tube. This is the New World Symphony by Antonin Dvorak, which is his Symphony No. 9, fourth movement, arranged by Deborah Baker Monday. I'm going to be playing the second violin part here for you and just walking you through all of the what I call events of pieces like this. What I want you to understand is this piece is really the real deal. This is real classical repertoire that is world-renowned. Everyone knows this symphony. It has some major historical significance. It's got some amazing melodies, and it's just a wonderful piece of music that is timeless. And so for us to be able to access this piece is super important in your cultural understanding, your musical understanding, and just, you know, having a connection with cultural music that is, you know, hundreds of years old. So I want you to just really enjoy this. You're going to chew on it a bit. It's challenging, but it's definitely doable if you take it in chunks and slowly work up your practice. So let's talk about the opening here. The bowing is super important as far as where you execute things. So we have a double fortissimo, and they're all down bows. Okay, so that's the opening, and you notice that I played double stops. Okay, and you've also got in measure 6, you've got the notation, the 2 slashes on the half notes that denotes 16th notes. So just make sure that you're understanding that. We've had some experience with that, so just want to remind you that those are 16th notes. It's not tremolo. When you get to measure 7, actually measure 6, you're going to play both of those notes. And the way I would practice it is making a tunnel so that you can have that A string free and clear so that you can play on the D string. Then you're going to measure 7, just bump over to the G and play your third finger on the D. And the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. So you're just finding those chords, pinching the bow before you move, and giving us a nice big sound, okay, for all of those. All right, that brings you up to the melody in measure 23. This is the big moment. Again, I'm going to do a historical presentation on this so that you know the significance of this music. But Antonin Dvorak came from Europe, Czechoslovakia, and he was basically coming to America and experiencing all of the new world's music. And so he listened to slave melodies, he listened to Native American melodies, and he incorporated all of those things into his music. So here's one of the most famous melodies from his fourth movement that second violins get to play. Okay, so make sure that you do divisi when it says, and then back to unison. Okay, so make sure you're clear, you've got your dots executed, your dotted quarters are long enough. Listen to the recording and that will help. Okay, so this brings us to the big major event, which is measure 31. I've given you some practice tempos here from 80 to about 100. I'm going to call final tempo around 120. I think 132 is a bit ambitious, so we're going to call 120 a goal, and then we're going to work around 80 to 100. So I'm going to put my metronome on 80, and I'm going to play eighth notes. Now you notice it's double barred, so that means 16th notes, but the way to practice this is to play it with singles. Even that's a little fast. Might bump it down to maybe 70. get to measure 41. Let me just point out a few fingerings here and there. You've got in measure 32, you're going to play the F sharp with your third finger, while your second finger is on the C natural on A, so it's a little bit of a finger twizzler. Hopefully you can see that. What interval is that? Hopefully you're thinking tritones, because that's what it is. Okay, so make sure that your fingers are super scrunched, 1, 2, 3, and that they're nice and tight. And then once you've got, you know, sort of a layout, you'll find the patterns of how this is. It's basically a chord, arpeggiated. And once you get into the patterns, start reading in patterns, chunks of patterns, then you can go a little faster and see how your brain is computing that. So forth. When you get to a point where you're comfortable, go ahead and play the doubles, but don't play it too much because this will really tire out your right hand. Okay, and then at tempo, you're going to bring it up. Just see where comfortable is, and just every day 2 clicks faster. So tempo would give you, if I was to really jump it, tempo would sound something like this. Let me just get these. Whoops. And I think that's really the fastest we're ever going to go. That's really pretty fast. So that's 120, okay? And again, what I do is when I make a mistake over, you know, like if I miss a note, I'll write in, okay, that second finger is right there. So I go 2 to 1 or 1 to open. Okay, so just making sure you're writing out fingering so your brain has time to process it. Okay, so let me do one more and then I'm going to move on over to the second part of this. The next section, well, we've got at 41, we've got those 16th notes. I'm going to go back down on my tempo. But now we have triplets. Now if you have a metronome that does triplets, that's really handy. And this is measure 42, 3, 4, 5, 6, 47. That's tricky right there. Okay, and so I would do this super slow, maybe even slower than what I played it. And that D sharp that comes in at measure 49, you're just going to reach back as an extension and just reach up on violins, totally doable, so it's not going to feel really super high. But then just every couple of days, just get a little bit faster. And then when you get to measure 51, you're going to want to turn the triplets off. Okay, I'm going to go into part 2 for this. I'll see you in the next video.